He has returned. The God has returned. What is happening, guys? My name is Jamie. Today we are reviewing the latest John Petrucci album that just been released called Terminal Velocity. Suspended Animation was his debut album, and finally we get the sophomore album. Suspended Animation was just a fantastic album. Really enjoyed the guitar passages, not to mention we had amazing instrumentals. How did Terminal Velocity pay out? Well, in my opinion, it is close to one of the best albums of the year. It really is, because John Petrucci himself is starred on this album. Creating some beautiful guitar riffs, amazing guitar leads, and absolutely incredible sweet peaks throughout some of these songs. Love the songwriting on this album, and fans were probably starved for some DT content, and finally you got something very close to Dream Theater. But what is really something close to Dream Theater is none other than John Petrucci's collaboration partner, and it is none other than Mike Portnoy. Last time Mike Portnoy and John Petrucci collabed with each other, it was actually in Dream Theater, I believe, and it was back in 2010. Finally, we get to see a collaboration between these masterful men, just combining some amazing melodies. This album really took me by surprise, and honestly, I was listening to Pain or Salvation and I wasn't really vibing to it. And finally my mate said, hey, you know what? John Petrucci just released an album, we should listen to that. So we did, and I absolutely fucking fell in love with it. From even the first song, Terminal Velocity, which is self-titled track, it was so energetic, it was hard hitting as well, and it was heavy. I absolutely love the bass lines throughout this song, not to mention the drumming, especially by Mike Portnoy, incorporating the amazing drum fills that lead onto some awesome time signatures. The main star on this album is none other than the God Petrucci himself. As you all know, Petrucci is my number one guitarist of all time. The leads he creates throughout this particular album is absolutely fantastic. Just the on-drawing passages, the guitar passages, the swiveling guitar moments, especially with the beautiful tap-ons and hammer-ons, the lead-offs. It's just mouth-watering at times. Some people would say this is a wank fest, which I could name a few people that probably would actually hate this album because they don't like Dream Theater. But my God, this album is on a whole different level. Distance Over Time by Dream Theater was absolutely a fantastic album, but I just feel it's definitely one of their weakest albums by Dream Theater. But what really inspired John Petrucci is what I read, is that really this bloody siren is fucking annoying me. Really annoying me right now. I'm on a roll here and you get a siren because some cunts are gonna drop some bombs. So it's over. I believe that John Petrucci wasn't actually planning to release an album this year. Apparently when Dream Theater ended tour, due to the COVID crisis that we're having at the moment, he decided to work on this album for about two months, and to really narrow it down, he asked Mike Portnoy to collaborate as well, and they created such a really tight and cohesive album. Now the production on this album is absolutely fucking fantastic, and I absolutely love the mixing, the balancing, the beautiful guitar leads, and not to mention the drums. Mike Portnoy's drum tone is absolutely fantastic. The tone of the snare is brilliant on this album. The main part is the guitar. The guitar tone is absolutely fucking mouth-watering. It really is. And let's talk about the song Gemini. Gemini throwbacks to something out of fucking Metropolis. Even those guitar riffs and even sometimes heavy moments like out of the Awake album. It's just got such an energetic tone. Not to mention the song Gemini has a beautiful Latin interlude that is just mouth fucking watering. It really is. And John Petrucci is an absolutely star on this, especially with his guitar. You don't need fucking vocals on this album, no fucking way. Although this album is length for around about 53 minutes, it feels like a 15-minute album because of how fucking fast this album goes. And not to mention the bloody guitar is the vocalist, and the vocals on this album, I'm talking about the guitar, are fucking outstanding. sounds like the guitar is fucking singing. And the way John Petrucci conveys so much emotion towards the listener with his guitar, it's just absolutely mouth-watering. It really is. But not only that, you can tell he's been inspired by many other different genres, especially when you got some bluesy sort of songs, such as songs like Out of the Blue. Out of the Blue is beautiful. Now, this would definitely be a ballad, you could say, but it's one of the best ballads of the year. The guitar on this song is absolutely fantastic, not to mention the solos on this song as well, and the beautiful, beautiful jazzy drum Mike Portnoy provides throughout this song, and not to mention the bass. The bass on this album is absolutely fucking fantastic. I love how prominent the bass is. I don't know the bassist's name, but my god, the bassist has to be commended on this album. This is just a quick review to give you my thoughts on what I thought about this album. I'm just gushing of how good this album is, and I'm so damn excited to just give you my thoughts about this album. I just absolutely love it. Songs get even better, but Gemini is probably my favorite song off the album. But you get songs like Glassy Eyed Zombies, which is more of a thrashy sort of song, but then you get some really epic songs like Temple of Cicada, which is the last song off the album. It's quite epic, and it really sounds something out of like Breaking All Illusions, or even out of Bridges in the Sky. That sort of tone, and I absolutely love that tone. I love how epic, how brilliant this album ends. Guitars, the riffages are just so memorable. The melody on this album is absolutely fucking fantastic, and not to mention how beautiful some of these songs are. It's such a cohesive album that it no doubt will be my #1 album of August. No fucking doubt. Because you know what? Primitive Man, Unleash the Archers, John Petrucci has just blasted them all out of the water, because the God himself has created an amazing fucking album that everyone should fucking listen if they like guitar-based driven albums. It's absolutely a brilliant album just to sink your teeth in. You know what? I was going to give this a 9.5, but of course there are some moments where, if I have to be really critical, there are some moments. Now, you could say this is definitely a progressive metal style album, and there are some really awesome moments. You could tell he's been inspired by many different guitarists. There's sort of at times some punky riffs, especially throughout Happy Song, which is okay in my opinion. Maybe he could have incorporated a few other different riffs now and again. But that's just one criticism of the album, but it still gets a solid 9 out of 10, and the album's too short. It's such a short album. I wanted the songs to go on a little bit longer. That's how good this fucking album is. You don't need vocals, and for Dream Theater fans that are starving for some Dream Theater music, you finally get some Petrucci music, and my god, it's nearly as good as Dream Theater's music. This guy's amazing, and whoever doesn't like him, fuck you. Go stick a breadstick up your ass, because this album is absolutely fantastic. It gets a solid 9 out of 10. And comment below what you thought about this album. Keep discussion going in the comment section below. I was going to do the Incantation album review, but I just had to do this review. First. And that Incantation review will be out maybe in 2 days, if I can be bothered. And I will see you in the next one.